I just made a list of the top 10 cool tech products that I've been working with. Delphi.AI. Have you looked into this, Drake?
I've used Synthesia. Synthesia's
If you're struggling to get leads, pay-per-click, this stuff is a game changer. Drake, what's your experience with Elevenlabs?
So with Elevenlabs,
Samsera is a fleet tracking tool that is...
So their product, it has like a dash cam, right?
ArcSite has been a very, very cool tool. Hilti? Dude, Hilti is creating some very cool tools.
So anybody like the Hilti exoskeleton, if you just Google that, it is.
Welcome to Beers with Contractors.
All right, tradies, another episode of Beers with Contractors. Cheers to all of you out there in the world. Listen, special episode today. Of course, it's summer with vacations, all sorts of things. Schedules get mixed up with guests and co-hosts and all sorts of things. But we're going to keep on rolling. Drake, you are here. You're always dependable. You got my back. You are my Sancho Panza to my Don Quixote. You are here, buddy. Thank you. But I knew that you would want to be a part of this episode today, and very special episode to everybody out there. Just so you know, and we were just talking about it in our show prep, Drake, I know it. You're a tinkerer, aren't you?
I have those tendencies.
Yeah, oh, what's this? What's a free trial for this? Let me buy this and try this out, but I'll keep the receipt. And I am a self-promoting tinkerer as well. Sometimes I tinker to the point where shit hits a fan and it blows up, but... home services, man, we are overwhelmed with cool tech. And I just made a list of the top 10 cool tech products that I've been working with in the last year. And I just wanted to go down the list and talk about them. But also, more importantly, I think it's safe to say, please support my sponsors. But today's episode, we're not sponsored by any of these companies. So I'm not receiving benefit financially from them. Boy, I wish we would. If you are listening to this and you operate in these companies, please get me a hold of your marketing department so you can market your products to our 5 listeners. I would be super, super proud. And Drake, you can start managing those sponsorship calls for me, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've got an AI bot to just take those and handle it. Foreshadowing.
I know, right? Before we get into, we are going, guess what? AI, I can already see is there's 3 or 4 of them, probably 2 of them on our list today that have AI embedded into them. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited to go through this list and also give you guys a rabbit hole to go down yourselves. But it is funny to our sponsors. Thank you guys. It is weird to have people approach us as sponsors and they're like, well, how much do you want to charge? And I'm like, how much you willing to pay? Because this is fun for me. This is it's a passion project. Of course, we can't start off about tech and home services without me making the shameless plug about my performance.io software. So sorry, I got to show the shirt, but it is by far the coolest tech product in home services, but there's some cooler ones out there too. So I want to keep the main thing today. And I am excited because Drake, I got to tell you, we've had some conversations, and I think you are way farther ahead than I am on new tech and stuff coming down the pipeline. It's crazy.
Well, and as a producer, I think I'm obligated to actually talk about the plug because you were just telling me about a company that you help them save $180,000 a year on their labor with performance. And so I understand you're pushing under the rug, but it's pretty fantastic. Some of the stories you've been able to tell me about what you can do. So, but yes, AI, as you say, with tinkering, I may or may not have already paid $300 to use a month of the Grok 4 agent and then testing
really?
that. Yeah.
Okay, so I've been hearing about this. And Terry's dad, full disclosure, we talked about Terry's dad the last episode. Huge fan of it. And granted, Terry's dad is obviously elderly, and I'm thinking I am way behind here. So do you like it so far?
So far, it's pretty cool. Now, to be fair, I'm using it. I'm trying to see if I can build a piece of software with it. So there's the normal Grok 4, which is, fast and everything. But this one is the heavy one that's agentic, and it has 4 agents running at the same time. like
Oh.
legit takes time to think, well, it's $300 a month to use it, but I'm going to see
Mhm.
if I can build a piece of software in a month. And if I can do that, then like that's like the cheapest software you can use. And that's what too many people like when you're thinking about these software things, people like are equating it kind of weird. It's like if you could gain an extra 25, 50, 75 or full-time employee equivalent
Mhm.
by adding a piece of software, if you start comparing it in those numbers, I think the math starts to make a whole lot more sense with a lot of things that are going on right now in the world.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're using that because people ask me all the time on the the software development side, like, well, there's apps that build all this now, and some I've even tested them. One of which, Famous.AI, great tool. I was able to create a sketching software out of Famous AI. Now, I knew going into it that in their terms and conditions, I may own the intellectual property, but they have the 100% right to license it if you create something really good in their platform. So you got to be careful. And it's like, I mean, to work on something, build it out, and then just have it carbon copied out and all of a sudden sold on the open market. You got to be careful. But anyway, let's get into some cool tech. All right. Number one, Rilla, man, AI, this stuff is a game changer. And Drake, we've talked about this on previous podcasts. Do you remember Rilla at
Yeah.
all?
Yeah. This is probably the one that I could riff on for the most because it mirrors so many other really cool things that I think are going to be the future of
Yeah.
AI and recording. So I'll let you give the overview though for sure.
So yeah, Rilla is a AI tool that will listen to your salespeople on sales calls or technicians, record the conversation, and give feedback weighted against your process. It's not a body cam for salespeople, but it's a recording coaching device for your salespeople that is going to take your use cases and just continue to build on it. So the more sales calls that you're on that you are using this product, it's just building off of that and creating this feedback loop that is just powerful. So Randall's one of my sales reps. He's brand spanking new. He's a great guy. But I tell you, like, he has just been like, he cannot figure it out. So we put that in his hands. And this is what I found. And this is when you know it's a good product, right? Is when people are using it as intended, but when people are creatively using it beyond its intent, that's when it's cool. So he was using it in the car on the way to appointments and out of appointments. And he was role playing even at his house with Rilla
Nice.
just to be able to get better. And like within 10 days, his numbers like doubled. And they
That's
were
amazing.
bad to begin with, but to like now they're like really okay. We were only talking like 10 days, but that was pretty cool because it's like taking the data from his sales appointments and giving him that real time feedback, which he wanted so bad. And then he took it another level and he, and Drake, this is so funny. The reason he started using Rilla to do role play, and there's a few other products that do this, by the way, but he was using it this way, is his wife got sick of role playing like the sales process at home. And she was like, I'm so sick of this. Like, do not role play this for the 10th time. So he would literally like go to the garage and go through Rilla and like role play the sales process to the mirror. And Rilla would give him the feedback. And
Hmm.
I'm like, dude, talk about like having some get up and go, man. I just thought that was just insane. I was nervous to incorporate Rilla because the salespeople were like, well, you're just trying to police us and listen to us and things like that. Well, after we pushed it to a few of our sales reps, they were actually more inclined, like, no, I want the feedback. They did not view it as, hey, you're just trying to figure out what I'm saying in the house and things like that. That was like a total shift in my thinking when we started talking about it, so much so that we doubled down on this with our sales team.
And that's such a huge thing, right? Because I mean, when you're talking about sales, like the thing that you want in a salesperson, like there's skill involved in everything, but if they have desire,
Oh,
like
yeah.
just basic desire, but you as the owner, you don't have enough time to give him that much feedback all the time, and you can't handhold him that much all the time. Like you don't have time for that. You got a whole business to run. But if you could take something that allows the most willing participant to just be able to over and over again just role play that and go through that. He's going to have reps. And like, if you think about it, someone's going to the gym and they're going to get, they get 50 reps for their workout, which that'd be a short workout. But anyway,
Yeah.
and someone else who's getting 150 reps, they've got triple the workload. Well, guess what? They're going to improve faster.
Yeah. Yeah. Before the show, we were talking about that 10,000 hour rule. Like, I mean, you reach mastery, the faster you can get to 10,000 hours. Like, man, and if you're doing that, boy, you're going to get really, really good. And we've always had to weigh on, like, well, are there other human beings around to do that? No, it's
Exactly.
like, no, let's go.
Yeah. And weigh it against a standard. That's the big thing, right? You have a sales process that you have learned, it has worked. It would take some work to go into, ChatGPT, AI, Grok, whatever, and actually build out the process and make sure it's weighed against the standard. But weighing against the standard and weighing it against your own internal best practices, that's a big thing.
Yeah, dude, it's so cool. I hate that my mindset was even like, well, do we introduce this or not? And I've heard horror stories, but any short-term loss is going to have a massive long-term gain. So,
does it suggest any process changes to your process?
not yet, but
Not
we're
yet.
hoping to get to that point where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, statistically, like, there's negative response out of this particular part of our process. And it's like, oh, cool, pinpoint that. We need to change that. Because we're in the games of like inches, right? We're just trying to get those little quarter percenters through everything we do. Super, super excited about it. Yeah, very cool product. But more importantly, getting to see it in a real use case, man, that's awesome. So now let's move away from software, move to some hardware. And I always have trouble pronouncing this. Moasure. It's such a weird name. I don't know the context of Moasure, but Drake, have you ever shown up to a job site, you have your work order, and the numbers and links and measurements on the work order do not match what the job really needs? And, yeah, that never happened in low voltage, did it?
Yeah, that never, ever happened in low voltage. Can you see the tower? Well, I can't see the tower anywhere now. I have to completely change the mounting structure and the complete location of the roof and hope it works.
Yeah. Well, I want to be clear. Like, I know you were doing a lot of low voltage, things like that. I can't attest to this project from a vertical application, just to be clear, but from the ground where all of us are normal human beings reside every day where we should be because God didn't give us wings, right? For all of us people on the ground, Moasure is a digital measuring tool that outlines not only square footage, linear area measurements. I mean, it's cool. It is essentially walking around and you are driving the results off of this device, which for years I have used zip levels and smart levels to measure elevation. But you have this long, frustrating cord. That Moasure device, like when you have it, you don't have any wires to drag around. But specifically to our concrete guys out there, this has been a game changer for us because we get around these swimming pools, and we're going to talk about some sketching softwares later, but trying to draw these weird shaped swimming pools and unique backyards, like it's hard to transfer that into a drawing that's worth a darn. And Moasure is just like boom, 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 boom. And then you import it into your sketch system, and the sketch is done. It works out the math. And I got to tell you this funny story, Drake. I hired a guy years ago, and this was many years ago, to be clear. And the product line required that, it was ran by square footage of product, right? So we needed to know, hey, length times width to get your area. Well, we got like 3 months into it, finally ran his first sales call. He finally disclosed to me, he goes, hey, Will, I don't know how to calculate square footage. I'm like,
Okay.
Our school system has let us down. But anyway, no, that wasn't the specific scenario, but it was this. He had been running like gutters for years. Like I'm talking like 15 years. He sold gutters. So he just got his little measuring wheel, ran it around the house, looked at it and said, all right, 130 feet, plug it in the system. Here you go. And I guess he just forgot somewhere down the lines of having kids and obviously, getting hit upside the head so many times. Forgot square footage measurements. But also that's the biggest problem with job sites is mismeasurement. Oh gosh, it affects cost of goods sold so much. So we have been using this and dude, it is if you're in a business that does a lot of flat work, elevation shots, your product or material costs are related to the square footage, linear footage of hard product, dude, the product's been awesome. So we'll have to see if it works for vertical applications, Drake.
Yeah, so let's clarify a few things. So it's a device, looks like a device that you hold. Is it like on you hold it on a rod
Yeah, so
and
it's
you drag it around exactly what like explain like how I do this because I'm looking at I pulled up the website and I was looking at it, I was like it exports to
mhm.
CAD, which is awesome. I don't know if you guys use CAD on your is that your
Well,
sketch when you say sketches, is that for CAD or is it something different?
we use ArcSite and it
Okay.
integrates with ArcSite too. Like it integrates with a
Okay.
lot of drawing programs. So
Okay.
imagine like have you seen a lot of the cool like satellite driven surveying systems that surveyors are using now? Like it's all driven off satellites and anyway, it's pretty cool. It looks like well, there was this scene in The Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, Drake,
Okay.
we're going to Star Wars. The drone lands in the snow and it scans everything. Well, these survey guys are using that and then they're going around with a essentially a benchmark and that
Hmm.
is recording that measurement and taking it from the satellite to the drone to their iPad. That's
That's
like
cool.
Moasure on steroids. Now
Hmm.
Moasure is bringing it down into a home services level. So
Okay.
it's like, hey, we're going to rip up and replace this driveway, or we're going to rip up and replace the carpet in the home, or we need to outline the edging that is needed for landscaping. Like you can set that setting, hit the start, walk around to where everything is needed.
Hmm.
And as you're walking, rather than drawing with a pencil or a pen on graph paper like we all used to do, when I
Hmm.
say all used to do, hell, this was us 6 months ago we were doing this.
Yeah.
Like now, Moser is literally drawing all of that for you and transcribing it into whatever your drawing platform is. It is. I hesitated for a long time getting this.
So it's going and it's creating like just virtual like stakes in the ground, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Set down, record, go to the next checkpoint, record, next checkpoint, record, and then ask it what type of measurements you need out of that. And it
Hmm.
will automatically produce it, whether or not it's square feet, linear feet, perimeter, outline. There's so many units of measure on it. Like it has sped up our process too.
Oh yeah. It's way faster.
Yeah. And the homeowner's like, how long is this going to take? Well, if they got a like transitional style home that's 3,000 square feet, like that's got ins and outs and bay windows
Hmm.
and all sorts of stuff, like you're going to spend some time on the calculator trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and one bad handwriting normally, one bad miswritten word or letter or number can like completely change everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so specifically to like callbacks or job delays related to material input being wrong, like it's been a game saver there.
Mhm.
Like it's awesome. But also just from like speeding up our sales process and making it crystal clear for those different products, Mosure's been awesome for us. We're really excited. They've got some equipment costs that is associated with the product because they are one of these tech companies that they're marrying software with hardware, right? So there's some updated costs there. One of our previous guests, Michael Soto, he's used it and he uses it for carpet and flooring, right? We're using it for concrete. We're seeing a lot of folks use this in the landscaping world, but I was tire kicking on this after seeing their Facebook ads like 2 years ago. And then, by the way, this is just a show of me like, why didn't I adopt this before? I was hesitant on some of it, and there's actually some of this we're dipping the toe in the water in right now, but I thought it would be great to share. But yeah, Moser, very cool product. Not used in the podcast, probably not for the podcast production world, but Drake. By the way, do you ever miss like the low voltage business, being outside in the 105-degree heat, rain, all
The
that?
attics. Oh, being in the attics, we
Oh
ran
yeah.
tons of wire through attics. I was doing single family, not just new construction wiring. So yeah, the 150-degree attic were the
Oh,
best, or the 150-foot towers. Those were
uh,
also just Yeah.
Yeah, on windy days.
Not so much, and I was happy with the multiple I got on the exit, so we were good.
Well, I mean, did you have like a wind like threshold? Like if the wind was above X amount, you couldn't climb up the poles?
No, I mean I did all the climbing, so I did all the climbing for the poles. So yeah, no, I mean I have looked out to the west and said, oh, that's a thunderstorm. I only have 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
I have done speed climbs.
Dude, you're crazy, man. That's like you must have missed that OSHA safety training.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
There were plenty of things that I did that had nothing to do with OSHA certified. I did not ask my employees to do any of those things.
Uh, oh,
I
here's
was.
the do as I say, not as I do thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, cool. So Drake, Hotjar, and I know people are going to be like, Hotjar, we embedded this probably actually learned about this through our software company, have already started using it on our website. And listen, if you're struggling to get leads and you're trying to trigger in SEO and pay per click, all that, Hotjar has been a game changer. And Drake, I want your input on this because you mentioned something about it and I didn't even realize, but it's on the background of me. So Hotjar is something that we've implanted into our website that screen records and tracks user activity. And there's a free version. And the second I saw the full week of the free version, I was like, oh, yes, we're going full throttle on this. It is crazy. Now, there's data that's protected, so we can't see like the IP address, but we can see where people are like going on our website and we can see where they're getting stuck. Obviously, SEO reports is going to show you where people are going naturally, but when they're in there, what are they doing? Are they immediately exiting out? Are they focusing on a certain spot? Are they heat mapping in a specific area? How long are they camping out on that fill form page before they decide to actually submit the fill form? One of my favorite things is like rage clicking. It will track rage clicking on our website, which you wouldn't think that for a home service company, but if they can't get what they want because of the navigation format on their device, that's powerful stuff. And you need to take that to your developer and be like, hey, fix this. Because we literally have customers that are getting angry because they can't select a link. And we actually found dead links on our website using Hotjar.
Oh wow.
I mean, we've got tons of pages we built over years and years and years. Hell, pages I forgot existed. And because something changed, Hotjar's screen recording has given us, hey, by the way, 404 notification. And like, it's been eye opening to visually see how people are interacting in real time with our website. Google Analytics, all these SEO trackers, like that's giving you the data, but like visibly seeing it in real time, while it may be creepy to some of you guys out there, it is pretty cool. So it's allowed us to reformat certain functions to lower the barrier of entry on our website, and it's wild. Now, Drake, you mentioned something because I used Hotjar, and you mentioned that they were acquired.
Yeah. So this is one of the ones that I've been familiar with because Hotjar has been around for a long time.
Well, I feel like late to the party, bro. Because
Oh, dude, I remember. So like my first company, we built websites, and so I remember like back in the day seeing Hotjar, and it's gotten better since then. But just real quick for the audience, like imagine your current website right now, and you've got all the different links at the top on your menu bar that people can click to get things, right? Well, what Hotjar does is it overlays a heat map onto that. So let's say there's one link that people are always going to. Well, that's going to show up more red, and maybe the link next to it doesn't get clicked very often, and it's going to, be green or whatever the actual colors are for the heat map. This is helpful because if you look at your SEO analytics, which you guys should all have analytics on your website, you know that you don't actually have that much time for certain people on your website. Like you only have seconds to make an impression and for people to gather what they want. Will, what's your average? Do you have any idea? Like, are people on your website for 30 seconds? Like, you probably have. Like, it's crazy
yeah,
once you average everything.
yeah, like once we average it, like it's 32 seconds.
Yeah, and
Like
so
a large margin of people that visit our website that they're not even there 3 seconds. Top.
Exactly.
But then there's some that spend like,
Hmm.
dude, they're there for like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it'll even show us dead screen. Like if they just
Hmm.
abandoned it for a second and
Hmm.
exited the tab and then
Yeah.
came back, like
Yeah.
it'll show us that data, but
Well, that's
it's
super valuable because I mean, how many contractors right now have paid thousands of dollars to have their website built, yet they have no idea how anybody is using it. And
Mhm.
so this is the information that makes your website a living organism that allows you to get leads, as opposed to just that one thing you paid for one time and then you hope it works. And then if it doesn't work, you go, well, just pay more money in ads. Like this actually helps complete that timeline for you to see, hey, we need to move all of this important stuff up
Mhm.
front so that people can see it and actually get where they need to go quickly.
Yeah, well, I would even dare say like some of the value is even beyond that. Like let's take this way down.
Mhm.
And you're a small mom and pop outfit. You've got a website that's got like 7 or 8 pages, right? You got to take it to the next level. Like you can install Hotjar for free on that thing through your WordPress. And then you have all this data that if you go to an agency, you can be like, hey, like this is the data we have from it. And dude, so
100%.
so powerful. Like, yeah, you're a small plumbing company, small electrical company. It's free, like bolted in. And even if you only check it like once a month, it at least shows like, oh, you know, everybody loves my about us page of me and my family. And because we're a family owned company and they're hanging around that, they're literally reading it and we can see them doing it. And it's just like that could actually help with the later costs of hiring a developer to up your game on your website
Hmm.
and also like help them get better SEO, SEM stuff. Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally cool.
Any developer or designer is going to be able to get in there and read it too. So even if you
Mhm.
don't understand everything, just knowing that you have it and that they can look at it and go, they'll get ideas just from doing that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, super cool product. Like this is so funny that you say like I've known about this for years, and I'm like, I feel like an idiot. Now hold on, I knew listeners in the coding world. They call those listeners. Those listeners exist. Hell, we all see it when we throw something on a shopping cart for Target, and then we don't touch it for like 2 minutes, and then it's like you forgot to check out. Like we know those exist, but we mean it for home services.
Or talk to our buddy about something, and now all I get on Facebook ads is that one thing I talked about that one time.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
real listeners.
Right. By the way, that's why when my friends, I'm hanging out with them, and if they leave the room to go to use the restroom or something, I whisper things into their microphone that are very inappropriate. So then it all of a sudden starts serving those ads. But nevertheless, okay, this next one's cool because you and I have totally different experiences with this. We thought Hotjar was creepy. We're going to get into even more creepier stuff. Elevenlabs. So wait a minute, Drake, what's your experience with Elevenlabs? You're working with it now, right?
So with Elevenlabs, when I worked with it before, there's a home service company. Well, they're probably more on the commercial side. They do some home service stuff, but it's elevated pavers and stone out of Oklahoma City. They do some cool stuff. They were switching over their project management, business management software to a new platform, and they need to do training, right? So they've got all their employees and they need to say, hey, how do you navigate and do the same things that we were able to do before on this new app? And so I did all the trainings myself and screen recorded all that stuff so that they could use the app. But then most of their employees speak Spanish and not English. Well, guess what? I don't speak any Spanish. And so what I did was I actually re-edited all the videos and used Elevenlabs to translate all of the instructions into Spanish. And it worked flawlessly. They were able to roll out their training in multiple languages.
Well, it's interesting. Like, there's a lot of laws around like AI calling, and Eleven Labs seems to. There's a few of them out there, but they've really championed this AI voice product. So to those that don't know Eleven Labs, it's an AI conversation tool. And what's cool about it is yeah, like you mentioned, the language barrier aspect. It is kind of wild to think this, Drake. Do you know the history of like why we have different languages? Like in the Bible, they called the Tower of
Oh
Babel.
yeah.
You know,
Yep.
it's like all the people got together. They were building a tower to heaven, so God destroyed it and then changed everybody's language.
Hmm.
And like now, like AI is putting everybody back into being able to speak the same language. But Sydney and I have a conference coming up in September in Chicago. Our number one topic that we are speaking about in this conference is how to establish an inside sales team. We
Hmm.
have scrapped the entire presentation because it is only a matter of time before our entire inside sales and call center is completely AI driven. If you have enough use cases to feed into it to answer all the weird questions, including the people that called you thinking that you were a competitor, yes, it handles that. Like, I'm calling you because you did work at my house and it's faulty. And it's like, we don't have you in our system. Who are you trying to reach? We're trying to reach XYZ company. Oh, that's our competitor. You need to enter this number. But beyond that, if they don't help you, please call us back. Yes, that's a weird scenario that can be built into Elevenlabs. It's wild to think, like, because I love my administrative employees, I love my call center, I love my inside salespeople, but it's only a matter of time before a lot of their functionality will be removed. However, I do believe like their jobs will be better because now they can focus on different things like, ooh, we got something weird going on here. Let's capture that call and then let's bring them back in. We talk a lot about like the labor problem in construction, right? We're not going to be able to replace guys building our buildings around us and putting up siding and climbing up on roofs. However, like we're going to be able to backfill a lot of the infrastructure in our businesses with some of these tools like Elevenlabs and drive better results to allow us to reduce costs and indirect overhead and push to other places.
Hmm.
And to all of you, oh man, I wish Dylan was here, Drake. To all of you tinfoil hat wearing people out there, listen, remember when the DVD player wiped out VCRs? Like those jobs are gone. Like what's going to happen? All these people making manufacturing and VCRs, like where's their jobs going to go? And film processing and things like that, they're all gone. These jobs, the market will adapt to these, and there is still the need for knowledge and high touch work. But man, Elevenlabs is going to be cool for our inside sales. So we're going to revamp everything around it.
Well, and I think to make it more explicit, to I think kind of where you're headed is you've got your company, right? And you've got all your inside people, your office people, and you've got your people out on the job doing some of the hard physical work. Well, guess what? If you're able to increase your sales without adding any inside the office headcount, what can you afford to do? You can afford to pay more money to hire more people that are outside, and the actual contractor employee who is doing the hard work, who's in the crawl space, who's preparing the foundation, actually gets to make more of a living wage as the
Mm-hmm.
result of doing this kind of stuff. And so, like, it actually helps the people who have the harder job with all of this.
Drake, you should host this show because that's exactly. I was trying to articulate it and it never really hit. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head, which is funny because like we have this viral post freaking going out on TikTok right now. Have you seen it with the boys at Stronghold Construction?
Yeah.
Love these guys, man. They're awesome. But yeah, it's like wages is the problem, but it's
Hmm.
like you can't increase the wages for competitive reasons or like the cost in a company. Like it takes a lot to run a construction company. So by
Yeah.
reducing this, that does recycle over. And it's like for any of you guys that are afraid of AI and all of this, like, dude, there's still plenty of stuff. Like, man, it's going to help your business. Tradies, running your small business can be demanding. You got suppliers you got to work with, you're managing crews, hell, you're chasing sales. It's a lot to take in. Listen, if you want to grow your business, you got to stop working in it and you got to start working on it. So that's where my friends at Foundation Rescue Supply come in. You're not just getting foundation repair products and waterproofing products and air quality control products. With their nationwide distribution, you're getting a partner who knows how to help you scale. And that's why I use them. The Foundation Rescue Supply team has industry knowledge that'll help make your life easier. You get the tools, the trainings, the systems that you need to move the needle. You want your sales team to close more leads? Done, because they have the proven process for that. You need your crews to work smarter, not harder? Done. Their installation training will get you out there and rocking and rolling in the field. With Foundation Rescue Supply, you're not just buying materials here, you're buying a better business system that they have helped create. And you sell more, you install more, and you grow your team. So the bottom line is this: you get best industry pricing, you get field productivity on track, and you get more revenue out of everybody on your team. So this is your chance to step up, scale up, and thrive. If you are ready to make that happen, head to foundationrescuesupply.com, check out their catalog, and speak to my friends, their team, how you can take beyond the products with your company with Foundation Rescue Supply.
Well, and the first thing, when we're thinking about how to implement something like this, the first thing that you mentioned is you need to start making sure you record your calls. So having a phone system that allows you to record your calls, one, is just important for a lot of liability reasons and improvement reasons and whatever. Get a system that records your calls, and then you're able to use those calls to create your frequently asked questions and your processes, and then you're able to then take that data and put it into Elevenlabs. So if you're trying to figure out how to do this step by step, well, am I getting it right that would be your process? Start recording your calls, and then you can start feeding them into these AIs.
Yeah, and if you've got employees that are nervous about it, I'll give a great use case. Like my inside salesperson now, love Lisa. She's a rock star. She sold 3.1 million last year. She knows like AI's coming. But if we can feed her recordings in to train AI to take that job, like I can be like, hey, Lisa, you're now a business development person. Go network, because AI cannot build long-term relationships with builders, realtors, all these other people that are going to continuously bring us work. And she's going to love that. So she just got freed up from being tethered to a desk to being out there in the real world. And she's going to be a rock star at it because AI can't do that.
Well, that's what it's about. Repurposing people to do the creative, like more complex tasks. That's what AI is going to do. Like someone giving you a call going, hey, are the guys on the way to their job site? Right? Like you may have systems that automate that for you, Will, but for the small mom and pop, like answering a call being like, yeah, they're on their way, or let me call them to figure out where they're at. Like AI should be able to do that for you. Those are the little simple things that nobody gets. I don't get profound enjoyment as a human being from answering that basic question that I feel should be automated.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you should mention this, and this company's way a little bit farther down our list, but like when are the guys showing up to the job site? Dude, Samsera is a fleet tracking tool that allows us to track our trucks and our assets. It's funny. If Terry were here, we'd have a big joke about assets and jokes and little teenage boy humor. But dude, there's nobody that I think does it better than this company. And there's a lot of different fleet tracking tools and camera systems out there, but this is all they do. And dude, they have gotten really, really good at it. Hey, where are the guys? Well, it's automatically already shared like the location of the truck on the day of the appointment so they can track it just like it's a Domino's pizza delivery, for crying out loud. Like it also will use on the camera system like recognition to pull up violations and make sure. And this is what's crazy about it. I didn't even know this software existed until a good friend of mine that owns a moving company introduced it to me. Like it has seatbelt and cell phone triggers. So if the AI senses that somebody's on their phone while driving, it will make an announcement saying, hey, get off your phone. It's not going to say it like that, but it's going to say seatbelt violation, cell phone violation. Like it's calling out the act in real time because a manager can't be there to sit and just watch recordings of videos. Like the amount of data. Do you remember back in the day, Drake? Sorry, we're going to show our age. There was a big policy change with like UPS years ago where like they decided to only take left-hand turns in their major city metropolises. Do you remember this?
Really? No, I didn't remember that at all.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I misspoke completely. They were only designated to take right turns.
Okay.
So UPS did this massive study and they made a new policy to only make right-hand turns in their major metropolis areas. Okay, so think about this. Okay.
Okay.
The reason being is because when you have to stop at a stoplight and wait for the light to change, you're idling more and you're wasting more gas.
Okay.
So then they're like, well, if you do only right-hand turns, you will get to the destination faster. And they did a big case study. It was like, it's going to save us $78 million in fuel in a given year.
Okay.
It worked. It actually worked.
Oh, it did?
Now, yeah, it worked. Now, take that information. It probably took a whole bunch of weirdos, scientists, and bean counters to figure that out. Samsera's doing that for you. And your business using the tracking tool in AI. Like, it's cool. So
That's well. What was funny is as soon as you said like the thing, I was like, well, it's the wrong direction. But I was like thinking of the saying. It's like, two wrongs don't make a right, but three lefts do.
yeah. Well, I guess the theory was like we can glide through 3 right turns faster
Yeah.
than we can sit at a light in a busy, call it intersection in Newark,
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
this isn't working out in like rural Kentucky,
Yeah.
but like major metropolises, and we live in a grid community here in Oklahoma. Like there's a
Oh
cross
yeah.
street every mile here. So
Or textbook grid.
yeah, I love it. By the way,
Yeah. It's super easy.
it's a hidden secret of our flyover states. Many of our flyover cities have this 1 mile grid system. It's great. So, but anyway, yeah, we jumped down to Samsera. It's
One real quick, just so that people know what's going on here. So their product, it has like a dash cam, right? So it's looking out in front, and then it has a cam that is watching the driver too, and it also has the GPS tracking. So it's got multiple things there. Because sometimes when people think of fleet tracking, they just think of like I threw this magnetic thing up underneath the truck, and that's what it does. This is like actual dash cam. And so it would help with any, like as far as like forward, like accidents or anything like that and preventing accidents. And like, it's not our fault. That person jumped out in front of us. So stuff like that.
yeah, and I want to be clear, like, and we'll throw it in the notes. Everybody's got my contact information here. Like, we put dash cams in all of our trucks, and it was like, oh, you guys are just trying to watch us. Back to the Rilla thing. Well, we have footage of somebody that jumped over 3 lanes, jumped in front of us, slammed on the brakes. The police officer was like, well, you rear-ended the person. You're at fault. Well, it's like, well, hold on. Let's pull up the video. And he's like, whoa, yeah, definitely they are at fault. That right there immediately, like, showed us a return on investment. Also buy-in from our team that, yes, this is a powerful tool. Also,
Yeah.
if they tape over the lens, Samsera is going to tell them that there's an obstruction on it. I mean, I think it's, I can't attest for their new updates, but I mean, I'm like smoking in vehicles, things like that. Like, these are the things that keep business owners up at night because it's like, we don't know what people are doing in these big, dangerous vehicles. It's just like, super, super powerful. And while we'd like to talk about AI and stuff, Samsara has been one that's incorporated both the physical world and the AI and just fleet tracking. They've done a really good job. So, damn, we've only gone through like 5 of these, Drake. We've got a few more. Let's see if we can plow through some. I want to, well, shout out to our friends at ShipShape. Dude, ShipShape and their AI tool. If you're a foundation repairer, crawl space, waterproofing guy, HVAC guy, dude, their tech is getting really good. And more importantly, just for callbacks and proactive maintenance revenue, ShipShape is a wireless monitoring system that can be attached to HVAC systems, appliances, sump pumps. Like, dude, it's already produced so much for us. It is a physical product that needs to be attached with these smart sensors. And if you want to learn more, like, go back a few episodes. I think it was Ryan that was on with us. We've had him on twice. ShipShape's got some pretty cool stuff. And more importantly, when we look at this stuff, it's all about what's producing more revenue for our company and making better profits and keeping customers happy. So ShipShape, they are there. They are awesome. Delphi.AI. Have you looked into this, Drake?
I'm looking at it now and I see a lot of very familiar faces. So I'm trying to learn what it is.
Okay. Let's break this down from a me-you perspective, Drake.
Okay.
Well, it's funny. This afternoon, I was asking, like, hey, we got this podcast episode. Can you move up? And then questions and answers and all that stuff. And then finally we met up and we're recording our podcast this afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're just building in all your, let's just call it your top 30 questions that you get in a day. And the employees, for example, specifically employees, and this crosses over to customers too, they're getting you in essentially a bottled up AI. It knows how to answer your questions to those specific people. And this is really common for technical questions. Like, how do I fix this? This customer's upset about this. And they're radioing in the manager, and it's like the manager, and if you're a manager of employees out there, you know it. You find yourself repeating yourself over and over again. And that's not a bad thing. And now with the way the world is, you're typically doing it over text message. We're just going to bottle that up and we're going to put it into Delphi.AI. And then now your employees, and by the way, let's just talk about that. Like, your employees need to have their questions answered. Customers need to have their questions answered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you're only one person. Even as a manager, I wish I would have had this when I was managing 15 sales reps.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do I do with this picture? And it's like, well, this, and this. And you found yourself, especially with new hires, onboarding. We haven't started using this for onboarding. Oh, this could be super powerful. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like, hey, where do I access like my, I don't know, my benefits portal? And
Explain my benefits to me.
oh,
Like, literally, that's the one that popped out in my head is like all these HR questions about how do I accumulate time off, or can you explain to me what my options are for insurance, or like, yeah.
oh, yeah. Yeah. The possibilities are huge. We're trying to use it more so for the technical aspect of our home services company. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I am at a home. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. Now, we had TrueCast Pro on, so that's a great product for the visual aspect. But I do believe if the question can't be answered through all the stuff in Delphi, that it could escalate up to a TrueCast Pro when we had Jeff
Mm-hmm.
on. But like, oh, cool. Like, but if you can filter out 80% of the questions that people have, this is where I got to push against like the psychology of it. Like, most people be like, well, I'm ignoring my employees. And it's like, no, you're getting better use out of your time, which allows you to give better quality time to your employees rather than you running around with your hair on fire, answering the same fucking questions that
Mm-hmm.
you've been answering for 6
Yeah.
years. And the employee feels better because they're getting the answers. And
And
they think it's from you.
and you'd be flipping some of your time instead of answering those inane questions that you get asked over and over and over again to working on the process of explanations of those questions, of how to answer those questions, and
Yep.
working on the high fidelity. And so now you're working on the business instead of in the business, which would be the flip.
Yeah, well, even as a manager, back to my employee Randall that we talked about with Rilla.
Mhm.
Like, even as a low level frontline, when I say low level, I didn't mean that in a bad way. Like a frontline employee, like there's value in that tool even for themselves to just gather that data if
Mhm.
you can afford it. And they do have a free version, which is kind of cool. But great product. And you know what's weird when I think you pulled up the website, Drake,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm
and it's
looking at it.
like, hey, I want to talk to like Brendan Bouchard or somebody like that. It's like, no. Like, I don't need to talk to like a speaker or anything like that. Like, my employees need me.
Mhm.
And this is my access to take all of the minus the crazy thoughts. Boy, that's where AI gets really creepy. Is it's like, all right, can we upload Will's dark sense of humor into this? And I can't wait to the point where it's like, hey, by the way, we have to write up your virtual AI persona, Will, for making inappropriate context. But
That's funny.
boy, we should have a lawyer on. There's only a matter of time before there's some legal conflict between like a virtual AI bot that broke the rules based on the use cases that somebody has fed in. I don't know how that works, but maybe we'll find out through Grok.
What I have what I have heard from people that have talked to some lawyers about this is what you're mainly going to want to use a lot of this stuff for is stuff that doesn't have the high downside, right?
Mhm.
So something that doesn't have a huge downside implication of, right? So I'm gaining time back, but a mistake isn't going to, cost me the entire farm, at least as it relates to generative AI.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's go through two more, and I'm going to jump back on the hardware side just real quick. And I got in an argument with somebody over this in the Carolinas. Like Hilti, dude, Hilti is creating some very cool tools, products, everything, like across the board. And I know we've got some different trades that listen to this, all seven of you. But like, first off, let's just talk about the tools. Their tools are pretty cool, but it's cross-platform. Like their Evo system and Exo system, it keeps getting better and better. Now the Scorpion's a little weird. That's the tool that hatches to your back, and it's got like the tool. I don't have a lot of use out of that, but their Exo system, dude, it's cool. Like it's getting better and better. They're on like their third or fourth generation, and I'm not in that industry, but dude, if you're doing sheetrock or you're doing like above head, especially like commercial HVAC guys are doing above head applications. Oh, dude, Drake, could you imagine climbing up that pole before that storm with mechanical assistance from an exoskeleton? Like
Oh, yeah,
you could have like GI Joe'd your way up there in no time. But I'm not saying it's to that
exactly.
level. But one thing that when I first saw the Exo from Hilti, like the generation one, I was like, this thing's a little janky. And they just kept at it. And dude, it is getting really cool.
Oh, that does look cool.
Yeah, dude, it's like I mean their version now, if it 3 years from now, like it's gonna be very cool. And then
That is slim. That's actually very slim. So anybody like the Hilti exoskeleton, if you just Google that, like it is.
yeah, like it's wild to see because they keep improving it little by
Yeah.
little, making it lighter, like making it less clunky just for mobility and stuff. But like, dude, they're just gonna keep improving on that. And then that combined with their like Bluetooth inventory management and Hilti On Track tool management system,
Hmm.
they've since expanded. It used to be you could only access it through an Android. You can do it both now, I believe. Like that's been cool for just managing all of our tools and even some of our inventory. Boy, it is a difficult lift if you're trying to bring on a whole organization into that. You really have to have somebody owning it, but if you can get it knocked out, it's awesome.
Well, if you
And
just like throw on the Hilti exoskeleton and then throw on a cover all over it, that just go to the bar, make bets on how much you can lift, and you'll win. You'll win. Right off the bat. Just go.
yeah, I don't think it's to the point where you can do that like virtual punching bag, the
Oh
arcade
yeah.
game. Like that'll be the day. But I really, when I saw this tool or this product a few years ago, I was like, it's pretty cool. I like the idea, but it's really awkward and clunky. But boy, they have continued to evolve it. Well, I'll give you a good case study here. So, like shotcrete companies, dude, that work is brutal. Meaning you are taking and pumping concrete slurry into a mix, compressing it with air, and you're shooting concrete literally into an application, whether or not it's a swimming pool or roadside. A lot of the energy exerted from that is keeping that damn like hose like under control and guiding it. If you had the mechanical assistance to help with that, like man, it would save so much on the physical body, which it's hard enough in that world to find like people to that want to get into shotcrete because of the physical burden on it. Like that's where I see Hilti On Track's like exosystem. It's helping in so many different ways. So cool. We got time for one more. All right. Let's go through something applicable, kind of middle of the road, software, but more physical. ArcSite. ArcSite has been a very, very cool tool. We are using it in our system, and it's essentially a sketching and estimating system that integrates with everything under the sun, I feel like. We were talking about this before, Drake, like Mosure's doing it, but ArcSite can push to CAD, all sorts of things, but easy drag and drop features. And I was like, yeah, this is great. This is a cool little sketching software. But fast forward to today, man, they are sticking in their lane and getting insanely good at it. I see companies all over the country using it for estimates, not just like, hey, we're going to sketch up the house and here's your sketch. Now, that combined with our good friends at Foundation Scan, this has been a really, like, these are very cool tools. Foundation Scan is very specific because it's for the foundation repair, concrete lifting guys. But the interface with ArcSite has been very powerful and it can be done on tablet. I mean, did you use tablets when you were out in the field, Drake?
Not too much. I experimented with it some, but with the network configuration stuff is super hard to do on a tablet. I mean, network configurations of it can get pretty specific into what you do, but it would have been nice to have them be able to use a tablet because then I could have had a 5G connection. It would have been a lot simpler.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about ArcSite is if you do have Moasure, they integrate, so your drawing's already done based on Moasure. But
Oh yeah.
you can go in and I'm showing my age a little bit here, like my hesitancy of it was like I was really bad at using like an Apple Pencil.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just weird. And like I could never do it right. But now ArcSite's done a really good job of keeping up with the Apple and Android innovations around like how you tap and click and drag things, which is that's really joining three markets. You got to get your
Hmm.
software, your hardware, and your manufacturers all in line. But man, it's hard to kick, dude. Once you get in there, like if you're a home service person, to throw out a professional looking bid and not have it on carbon copy paper. ArcSite's been refining that product and it's really good. We just launched all of our sales reps on an ArcSite update and our closing's gone up easily 4 percentage points just from ease of use. Like it's
Wow.
that's no joke.
Wow.
So
It looks good. Like this is a very clean interface. Looks very simple to use. And let's be real, like sometimes when you're hiring people, like having a good user interface that's easy for them to pick up and understand
mhm.
is pretty freaking important. And here's the other thing, and this is happening even more and more when you're talking about like the next generation. There's a lot of Zoomers that don't even own computers because they're just used to doing it on their phone. And so having something that works on a tablet that is easy to use, a phone or a tablet, and I'm looking at the interface right now, like it looks like you could definitely use that pretty easily on there. So, I mean, that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's got a very sleek interface, easy to use. I mean, it's a really cool product. So all right, bonus one, Drake. We're nearing the end of our road here, and I was like, we're not going to have time to look at this, but we're going to talk about it. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to use this in my construction company, but I'm demoing it right now. Okay, so let's talk about Anam.AI. I have no idea if I am even pronouncing that right, to be
Okay.
clear. Like, Drake,
Mm-hmm.
if we needed to have a meeting and you were too busy,
Mm-hmm.
like we are limited by your availability, right? Same
Mm-hmm.
for me. And I'm experimenting with this now. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do this, but well, let's imagine. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. It's hard to explain, but it's creepy, 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 creepy. So I need to clone Will and be available to customers, employees, and everywhere else. Okay. Well, I can't physically do that, but I can through digital AI do that. And Anum is a tool that will deep fake me and then respond to questions and answers and context in my absence. It can even attend meetings in my absence and send notes to me. And people think that it's Will talking in that meeting, and it's not. It's my AI avatar and I'm starting to dabble into this, and it's crazy.
Well, I don't really know how to tell you this, but I'm actually a really big fan of Anim A. A, 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 a AI.
Was that now? Hold on for our younger one listener. Was that a Max Headroom joke? Like, like for
Yep.
anybody? By the way, we need to bring up Max Headroom real quick. Like, does anybody remember who Max Headroom was? Like, I am seriously. I don't know what application I'm going to use this in on my company, but this is something. And Synthesia is right along the
Oh
same
yeah.
line. That's great for onboarding
Mm-hmm.
multiple languages, but there's a lot of similar tools here.
Yeah.
Synthesia is more around deep faking the person and then creating recordings, but this is like they're pushing into real time. Like your AI avatar can attend a meeting in your absence. That's crazy. That is nuts, bro. Like,
I've used Synthesia. Like Synthesia's like you want to have a easy way to think about it. It's like an AI avatar. It's like, hey, we want to hire this video company to produce all of our training videos or our HR videos or AI video. And what this does is you just type out the script and it has AI avatar build the video for you. And it's really fast, really easy. This is like next level though, where you're like completely just, this isn't AI, this is me. Like it
yeah.
is me doing it and based trained on me. So that's pretty sick. That's
Yeah,
cool.
one thing I'm interested to see though is like when someone asks me to make it. And by the way, this is bonus content because I haven't vetted this out, but this is something I'm really excited about. Is whether or not people ask me to make a decision on something and whether or not I back that decision by what I built into the AI.
Yeah.
Maybe I just build in the use case of like, I'm not sure. Every,
Yeah.
everything is I'm not sure. You figure it out. And I delegate. And by the way, I'm horrible at delegation. I built into my AI avatar that like that's the better version of myself, which is good at delegation.
Well, hasn't Sydney already done this where she's like, no, Will.
Yeah, yeah, maybe that's what it is.
She
Like,
that's
yeah,
her AI.
yeah,
No, Will.
we will build the improved version of Will and AI through Anam. But I got to tell you, like, I was up at 6 o'clock this morning. Well, up earlier, 5 o'clock, but 6 o'clock to launch a company in our performance software. They were in Austin, Texas. And I go through the same thing and answer the same questions every single time. And I want to use that for onboarding to where it's like they're still getting the Will Blake experience, but I'm literally not up chugging coffee at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to meet these individuals. It's all automated. Now that's not for home services, but there are definitely applications here where this could be very cool.
Well, and the tweak is for people who's like, oh, well, you're not giving them that personalized touch or something. But if I can now have my onboarding be self-service, like completely
Mhm.
self-service, do it whenever you want. You signed up. Well, I want to onboard like right now. Great, you
Cool.
can. And
Let's
it
roll
makes it
through it.
super easy. So it's a lot of it is about the convenience of accessibility and
Yeah.
also like if you it speeds up your process in what you're doing.
Yeah, and we're shifting to the software world. But yeah, it's like you want to onboard at 2 a.m. in your Star Wars Underoos? Let's go.
Yeah.
Here's an AI assistant that'll lead you through it. But it's Will. Anyway, that's a little bonus content. Drake, I knew you would dig this, man. Like, this is right up your alley. You are the tinkerer,
Yeah.
constantly just going through things. So otherwise, to all of you guys out there, if you made it this far, like, you are troopers because you're going to be stuck in like free trial spirals and like your algorithm's going to be messed up. But to reconvene, like, I'm not paid by any of these companies. I'm just sharing like some of the cool stuff we've got. So I hope even one of these products helps your business, it helps you grow. And otherwise, Drake, I appreciate you in Terry's absence. And all you guys listening, thanks for coming to another episode of Beers with Contractors. We will see you next week.
See y'all later.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Beers with Contractors. We hope you enjoyed our chat as much as we did. Before we say our final goodbyes, a friendly reminder. Beers with Contractors encourages responsible drinking. If you choose to enjoy a beverage during our time together, please do so in moderation and only if you're of legal drinking age in your country or state. Furthermore, the advice and insights shared in this podcast are for informational purposes only. Always consult with professionals and experts in your field, and be sure to follow local laws and regulations regarding licensing and permits. We're here to help, entertain, and inspire, but your safety and compliance are important. So, as you head out into the world of construction and contracting, remember to build responsibly and make decisions that stand the test of time. Thanks for joining us today. We'll catch you on the next episode of Beers with Contractors. Until then, cheers to your success.